All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, this was not the matchup that most people pegged it to be in the Eastern Conference Finals here in 2021, but either way, the Milwaukee Bucks or Atlanta Hawks are 4 wins away from ending a lengthy drought in regards to making an appearance in the NBA Finals. For the Bucks, it goes back to 1974, and for the Hawks, it goes back to 1961. Now, you look at the reasons why both of these teams are here. First of all, I'm going to start off with Atlanta and their young star, Trae Young. He has become a household name in this postseason. First, in helping the Hawks take care of the New York Knicks in 5 games, and then in helping the Hawks upset the heavily favored Philadelphia 76ers in 7 games in the conference semis. Young has averaged more than 29 points per game during this postseason. He's had contributions and help from players along this Hawks roster, which includes John Collins. And I'm bringing up the name John Collins because he has a very important role in this series. We saw him help out a lot on Joel Embiid versus Philadelphia, but now he has to go up against a former 2-time MVP in Giannis Antetokounmpo. And, for Giannis himself, he and his Bucks teammates have been able to exercise some demons in this postseason. We saw Milwaukee sweep the Miami Heat in the first round of the playoffs, and this was a Heat team that dominated the Bucks last year in the second round of the playoffs. We also saw Milwaukee get past the Brooklyn Nets in the conference semis, and in doing so, they went to Brooklyn and beat the Nets in Game 7 in overtime, despite a Herculean effort from Kevin Durant and 48 points. But nonetheless, Giannis stepped up big in that game. He had 40 points himself. For these playoffs, he's averaging nearly 29 points per game and more than 13 and a half boards. And the reason why I talk about John Collins is because he's probably going to be guarding Giannis a lot. Giannis is definitely stronger than Collins, so I think it's going to be in his best interest for the Bucks to kind of exploit that and go down low and kind of bully Collins in the post and on the boards. And that's going to be important because if the Bucks can take advantage of that, and if for whatever reason Clint Capella tries to help out on Giannis, that's going to open up Brook Lopez for more shots. And I think it's going to be important for Brook Lopez to hit his shots. We've seen him become more of a perimeter player later in his career. And if he can knock down those shots, that will definitely be a shot in the arm for Milwaukee. We're looking at the difference in this team this season for the Bucks as opposed to last year. Last year was Eric Bledsoe at the point guard position. This time around, you have more of a traditional point guard in Drew Holiday, and he is making this thing flow. Chris Middleton has stepped up as well for Milwaukee, and I think it's going to be imperative because the Bucks definitely have the size advantage in this series. They are definitely going to have to use that to their strength and exploit the Hawks in the process. You look at Atlanta and they're playing with house money. Nobody expected them to be here. A lot of people didn't expect them to beat the Knicks. They had to go into a hostile environment to do that. Nobody expected them to beat the Sixers, and they found a way. I mean, they were down big in both games 4 and 5 and came back and beat Philly in both of those contests. And Atlanta's coming into the series. Hey, you know what? Why not us? Why not now? On the flip side for Milwaukee, this is probably going to be Giannis's easiest path to the finals. They know Embiid. He doesn't have to worry about facing him. No LeBron James, if Milwaukee were to get to the finals. No Kawhi Leonard either. And, he got past a Nets team that had a litany of injuries. So with that said, if Milwaukee is ever going to win the championship, I think the time is now. Both of these teams come into this series with plenty of momentum, but I think it's up to Milwaukee to go out there and seize the moment. They are the deeper team. They are the bigger team, and I think that will be the difference in this one. Milwaukee has been able to exercise some demons in this postseason. We heard coming in that Mike Budenholzer, their head coach, was potentially on the hot seat if the Bucks did not make a deep run. Well, guess what? They're in the Eastern Conference Finals for the second time in the last 3 years, and this time around, I don't think that they leave this series without the hardware. Thus, I'm going to take the Bucks to get past the Hawks in 6 games and get to the NBA Finals for the first time since the days of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson. So I'm going to take Milwaukee over Atlanta in 6 games. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There is also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.